Това видео започва доста по-необичайно, защото не съм в кокпита на автомобил, пред волан, а пред микрофон. Защо съм тук? Защото ни очаква едно страхотно шоу Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow Party. Шоу на живо с американските Monster Trucks, огромните шумни пикапи, които са супер мощни и правят невъобразими неща. Ще си говорим с Ребека Шнел, професионален състезател, жена в този изключително мъжки спорт, който се оказва не само мъжки. Тя ще ни каже какво е усещането да караш чудовище с 4 гуми. Nice to see you. I am Ivan, as I said.
It's nice to meet you. Thanks so much for having me.
Bigfoot sounds like a men's sport, but you're a girl there. How does it work?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, I've gotten this question a lot over the last few years. People ask me all the time, "Hey, Rebecca, what's it like to be a woman in a man's world?" And what I love to offer for my answer these days is that I'm okay being a woman in a man's sport, if you will, as long as they allow me to be a woman in it. And that quote was taken directly from another innovative female, unfortunately, who lost her life achieving her dreams, Miss Jessie Combs. She was a land speed record holder, but she gave that exact answer. Absolute legend. She is one of my biggest role models in life. And I think her answer to that question is probably the most appropriate answer that I could ever give.
When you were kid, did you play with trucks and cars as well? Or
I did, but I actually I have a little bit of a different background in this sport. I grew up riding horses, so while I did play with trucks and toys and those sorts of things growing up, I had more interest in the four-legged motor, horsepower versus the actual horsepower.
You said horsepower. How powerful are those trucks? They're V8s, of course. 9-liter. I think that the engines are Ford and Chevy. Am I wrong or right?
Yep, that's correct. Yep, that's the basis of them. My truck has a 572 cubic inch, which when we dynoed with the blower on it, it was about 15 to 1600 horsepower.
I'm wondering, is it physically tough to drive the truck?
It's a mind over matter situation. When I first got into the truck, our brains as human beings are naturally programmed to get behind the wheel of a car and not hit something, right? Because hitting something creates injury. So the first time that I actually drove the monster truck, we put a GoPro in the truck, and mind you, I had worked on monster trucks for 9-10 years before I was a driver. So I started from the bottom of the totem pole. So I get in this truck, they put the GoPro on me, I go to hit a set of cars for the first time, and I legitimately close my eyes. And I'm like, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. I close my eyes. What is wrong with me? And the more that I do it, or the more that I did it in repetition, the better I got, because you had to train your brain to understand these things are not built to hurt you. Typically, we get more hurt outside the truck than we do in the truck because they're so big. We hit our heads on things, etc. But it's a mind over matter thing where you have to learn to drive with both hands and both feet. We control the steering with the front with our steering wheel, and the steering with the wheel with a toggle switch. And then it's always gas and brake. It's never one versus the other. Now, if you ask some of these guys, they know that I don't like to use the brakes very much, and that's okay.
So it's similar to a helicopter. Your husband, Darren, is also a monster truck driver, and it's a family sport for you, in a way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
but
it is. It's quite an honor. He's responsible. He is 100% responsible for me being behind the wheel now. I tell people this all the time because without him, I wouldn't have met him. And he's been driving for almost 15 years, also works for Team Bigfoot. He will be piloting the Gangster truck in our show. It's the newest Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live addition to our family. So he got kicked out of the Bigfoot truck and is in the Gangster truck, and I get to drive the Bigfoot truck.
Oh, nice. You are traveling a lot. You have shows in the US and also in Europe. Do you have time to see some places outside the arena?
Yeah, we do. We make it a goal. A lot of times when we're set in Europe for the time period, so when we were there for the last 7.5 weeks or whatnot, we always would travel on Monday or Tuesday. And then we would go see, before we would load into the venues, probably Wednesday and Thursdays, we would try to take some time around the countries that we were in to visit. And I cannot express to you, There is nothing better than not only traveling the world with monster trucks, one, but two, traveling with it, your friends and family, and three, getting to experience different foods and cultures. And it's just an eye-opening experience that I will forever be grateful for.
Do you have any special moment, maybe some win or favorite place from all
Oh,
these venues and races?
I don't know. There's been so many great moments. We were just in Spain, in Madrid, and we introduced a new format of handing out our Champions Cup. And I think it just brings such a different vibe to the rest of our show as far as bringing us as drivers together. The group that we have right now in our tour is amazing. We are family. We rely on each other. We challenge each other. And just being able to travel with each one of those guys just brings a heartfelt memory. But the fans in Madrid, the fans in London, the fans in Scotland, I mean, everywhere we've been, like, the international tour is unlike any other tour I've ever done because you guys just welcome us with open arms and it's such a novelty to you guys, whereas the US has a large market for monster trucks that you just embrace it tenfold and just give so much enthusiasm and smiles for us to enjoy.
That was actually one of my next questions because in the US you're not so used to that, but with big trucks and this kind of culture. But for Europe, it's like very exotic. So the fans' reactions are quite different. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like they just get so pumped. And one of the differences that I always tell for people that come back to the US and that are in Europe, like in America, we have like baseball, right? And so like by seventh inning of baseball, if your team's not winning, a lot of people like just get up and leave. Whereas in Europe, it doesn't matter where we are in the show. We are doing our last hits and we're doing our last, giveaway of our Champions Cup and we're walking around the arena and nobody leaves. You guys all stay and cheer and like till the very last moment. They have to run us off the floor so they can clear the stands so the next group can come in. And I love that so much.
I'm sure that here in Sofia will be the same. And yeah, do you have any ritual before the start? For example, I know a guy. I don't know him personally, but I met him. He's a very famous motorcyclist. It's called John McGuinness on the Isle of Man,
Uh-huh.
and he has a tradition to put a penny inside his leathers before the race for luck. Do you have anything similar?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I love to dance. I am never going to claim that I'm good at it, but if you watch around my pit area, 99% of the time I am down next to my truck stretching, probably hanging from my wheelie bar. People have been noticing me doing that, jumping around, dancing. I just like to get myself hyped, get my corner hyped, and that sets the tone for how I'm going to perform. If I'm not dancing, something's wrong.
What other sports do you like? Do you practice? You said horse riding and also fitness.
Yeah. Yep, huge into fitness. If I'm not in the gym every day, something is wrong. It's just great to be physically active, especially throwing a 12,000-pound monster truck around. And I'm very petite. I'm not a very big gal, but I do enjoy horseback riding. I love NASCAR. I'm recently getting into F1 because we've been over in Europe. Like
Really?
you guys love F1. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Obviously, monster trucks. Um, Anything motorsports related, you can pretty much find that I would rather be at the track than watching it on TV 99% of the time. But I love anything with a big motor and horsepower.
Oh, nice. What could you say about to, not about to the people and maybe kids that are watching now and they they see a big monster truck and they say, "Oh, I want to drive big truck like this." What's your message to the kids?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have always been a supporter of education and college and further education is not for everyone, but I always find that it's a huge benefit to have a multifaceted career lifestyle. So while you're reaching for your goal to be a driver of monster trucks, maybe make sure that you're making yourself multifaceted to do something else because sometimes those dreams don't always line up in the timeline that we would like to create for ourselves. Those are of those believers of a higher power, but I'm also an emergency room nurse, which is where I started.
Yeah, it's
I was
quite
not a first
interesting.
time. Yeah. I was not first time or a monster truck driver. I was, and I still practice. I actually have to work at the hospital this weekend, as an emergency room nurse. But I always say, like, make sure you complete your education and have multi goals in your life, because not all the time one goal can work out for everyone. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are, just go for your dreams and understand that you're going to have hurdles and jumps to get over to get there. And it might not be on your timeline, but keep persevering and you will get there. What you'll learn, like, about females in this industry specifically, are there's quite a different group of us. Like, a lot of us started from the bottom where I started from, and like we learned how to work on the trucks first and understand the mechanics and the physics of how the trucks work. And then a lot of them are hired to drive, and there's no right or wrong way to be. I personally find it more beneficial to know how my truck is going to work before I'm driving it, so that I understand when something breaks, like, okay, why did I lose front steering? Okay, probably a tie rod or something else that's wrong. And the other opposite, that if that's what they choose, good for them, and we'll support them 100% whichever way you want to go. But for me, I like starting where I started and continue to advance my education in mechanics every day.
That's also my opinion, that if you know how the machine works, you're definitely better at driving it, for example. What's your message to our viewers that are waiting here, your show, maybe to buy a ticket and to see this epic show? Because I'm curious to see it live, because obviously I've never been to, it's not obvious, but I've never been to such an event.
I'm so excited. One, because this is our first time to Bulgaria. Two, not only are we bringing the Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live party to you, we're bringing the Glow party to you, which is where we bring the overhead lights down, we bring up the fun laser lights and the spotlights, and the trucks have lights on them, and we drive in the dark. And that's just a whole nother element to driving a monster truck, if you can imagine us driving monster trucks in the dark. And two, it's a huge family, like the entirety of the family enjoys our show, from ages 2 to 12. Most kids love it. We're very fan interactive. We like to dance, we like to have fun, and we also like competition. And like I said, while my other competitive drivers are our family, when we put our helmets on, the family goes off. We are diehard going for the Champions Cup every single show.
Great. Okay, we're curious to see. We're eager to see it, and hopefully it will be the best truck show that it's held here. So, thank you very much, Rebecca. That was from us, and the date is so close now.
It is so close. We cannot wait. We got our plane tickets booked this past week, and we are ready to rock and roll.
Видяхте, това беше Ребека, изключително ентусиазиран състезател, много лъчезарен човек, и тя няма търпение да се случи шоуто, защото се провежда за пръв път в България. И това нещо, друго важно, което тя каза, е, че Glow Party, което е още една допълнителна част с светлини, лазери, ще бъде епично, също се прави и за пръв път, така че ще бъде много интересно. 8 и 9 в Арена София. Нямаме търпение, ще бъдем там.